So then the question is, well, what if the economic logic of the internet were to slip the bounds of the screen and start to order the physical environment where you don't have the option of unplugging? And I think the best example of that is this idea of the smart city, where, everything would be surveyed, and things like trash collection, police protections, deliveries, the allocation of scarce road surface at different times of day, all this would be managed by an urban operating system. And presumably, Google would make the trains run on time because they're good at that. So what's the downside? Well, it's something a little harder to articulate, but essentially you're talking about the city being run now not by a democratically elected city council, but by a cartel of tech firms using sort of proprietary knowledge that is utterly obscure to you and inaccessible. So what you're talking about is a loss of any control over the institutions that you're living within. So that doesn't sit very well with our liberal political tradition.
Yeah, we talked about that, she and I did, and my first thought was, well, smart city compared to the ones most of us live in, where the trash doesn't get picked up so well, traffic's hideous, you name it. There's a certain appeal to it, I get it. You could choose not to live there, in theory. That would be the equivalent of unplugging, but of course the goal would be to have every city be smart. Who would want to live in a dumb city?
Yeah.
And I think there's no traffic accidents in this Oz-like place. There's also no man behind the curtain, by the way. It's just an algorithm that's moving the trains around and the cars and the groceries. I don't have to go to the grocery if I don't want to. Shop instantly. It knows when I'm out of stuff. It's fantastic. I don't even have to log on, and it just shows up in my box. And it's a physical box, all my stuff. I think that's a very appealing vision. So tell me why we should be afraid of it. And I think maybe we should be. It's hard for me, but I think maybe we should be.
Yeah. Right. So there's this great quote from Eric Schmidt, the head of Google, or former head of Google. I'm not sure.
Former, I think.
Where he said, I think people don't want Google to be answering their questions. I think they want Google to be telling them what to do before they even know that they have a question. It was something like that. It's not the exact quote, but I thought it was a very revealing idea. There's a kind of Google becomes our trustee. So as opposed to kind of just a utility answering questions, it's more sort of nudging and steering thought into channels that seem desirable to Google. And it's not simply a profit motive. If that were the case, then what we'd be talking about here is just a kind of cynical exploitation or something. But it's not that. If you look at Google's priorities in the realm of search, which is its core business, what you see is this quite paternal, maternal, I'm not sure which, mentality of wanting to create a choice architecture, right? This is the nudge idea, one that will be sort of salutary and embody the right values. So you're not just giving people what they think they want, you're giving people choices that are highly curated